Welcome. So, first of all, there's a sign-in sheet rolling around. Everybody be sure that they signed in wherever it is. So, what we've been trying to do, the way I've been communicating with our rep at Capsim, Anthony Illuso, is that how you say that? ILLU. Anyway, real good guy. Um, is through this go-to meeting. It's a join me. This one right here. And we thought we had everything all set up. He sent me this just a little bit ago, said, let's dial in. We can't do a long distance dial from the classrooms. Oh, duh. I wonder why they had that set up. I mean, I'm just saying. So hopefully he gets back to me ASAP, but because I know he had another meeting that he had to do, which is the reason I had him set up right close, like right quick now. So, wanted to touch base with you guys. It's a little bit more clear now, right? Kind of what's going on and how the whole thing works. All right, so somebody's got to let me know if this changes, because I'm going to give Anthony a chance to kind of get on here, but if he doesn't, there you go. All right, so this is the deal. When you guys have your own companies, and whether it's a small company, an internet company, I don't care. When you have your own company, you're going to have to be making all the decisions and these kind of decisions that you guys have been making with this company. Now, a lot of you in here have had marketing. Who's had marketing? All right, so like everybody should have probably had marketing. One of the things we talk about in marketing a lot is your target market. You guys all remember hearing that and having that jammed down your throats? All right, so one of the big decisions that you have to make in your team as a company is, where do you want to take that company? Do you want to end up in the low end of the market, which is fine, that low tech, or do you want to go high tech? Or do you want to try to maintain a low tech and put a high tech product out there, see how it goes? Hey. Oh, dang, that was the happy sound. What is this? All right, the via internet. I'm in the join me. The what? That's the join me right here. I know, that's what, but he says, call via internet using the phone icon. Can you see a phone icon? Oh, there it is. It's not going to let me do this, is it? Okay. Select the microphone. Connect. Allow.
You will now be placed into the conference.
Hello?
Huh?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear? Anthony, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Holy moly, it flippin' worked. Can you hear everybody laughing at me? Are you there?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're all the way up. We're kind of doing the best we absolutely can here. All right. So I have everybody here, and thank you so much for taking care of the reset competition round one.
No problem.
Glitch O'Rooney, because you guys may have noticed, Anthony did. I looked, I didn't see it, but he looked. Evidently, when we go into the competition rounds, we have to reset everything. Like I told you guys, we were all going to be reset. I thought me just setting it up, reset it. Ha 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 ha. No, right? So, but Anthony found that. I wanted to introduce you to Anthony, at least via phone. Although you may not speak to him, when you call Capsim, if you have questions, I wanted to see, and I asked you guys all to come with a couple of questions. We have him for about another 20 minutes. Um, and so I wanted to know if you guys wanted some feedback on something or you had questions for Anthony. Huh? Or you have a question? What?
When you log in and you go to Countdown Success, there's some webinars there that aren't, you can't, they're no longer available.
Okay. So I think what you have to do is you have to, all right, Anthony, what he asked was when you go to log in and you know the videos at the login page?
Countdown Success.
Yep.
Are you there?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, can you hear me?
Barely, right? All right. Well, yeah, they're going to have to. All right. So the countdown to success, he said that the videos, they said no longer available. I think if you go on the right-hand side and click, doesn't that work?
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. You have to click the view recording on the right-hand side rather than click the title of the webinar. So click view reporting, or I'm sorry, view recording on the right-hand side. That'll allow you to view those videos.
All right, so go check and look. Because I think if you click on the video, it says it's no longer available, but if you click on the right-hand side,
Yep, exactly.
does that work? Okay. Huh? All right, I can't, because I can't. What? No, it's where you log in. So go to login, hit login, and now go down. See all those videos? Those are videos. I'm back over here. Can he hear me? Can you hear me when I'm talking like this?
Partially.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Yeah, we kind of cobbled this together, Anthony. I'm just saying. And our audio tech did a masterful job, and I kept going, no, but now we want to do this, and so he's doing a real good job. But yeah. So we went over that a little bit. So what other questions as far as your companies? How to? All right, come on over here. Come on down because I think the mic is right here, right? Okay, so you come here. Anthony,
Yes.
here you go.
So, Anthony, can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I think it's right here.
Yeah, so my name's Adam, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My question is, and probably everybody here might have the same question, is saving. It's hard to meet as a team sometimes, physically meet. So one of the major issues that we've had, at least my group, is saving a
decisions?
piece, saving a section that one person is in charge of, and then allowing the rest of the team to see it. So the way we've been meeting sometimes is either over phone or via a chat room, and we don't all have access to the same information real time as we put it in, as we input it, so that everyone else can work off that same information. And it's making it real difficult to, I guess, to relay that information from the one person that's inputting that information for the team. Does that make
Gotcha.
sense?
Can you? Yes, makes complete sense. Can you still hear me okay? Can everyone in the room hear me? 'Cause I think this is a great question. And I do agree that this is something that a lot of participants struggle with, because personally I do think it can be improved on Capstone's website. But how you would do that is, I'm actually going to share my screen with you. Let me know if you guys can see my screen okay. I'm not sure if this is projected at all.
Okay.
Can you guys see my screen okay?
There it is. Woohoo! Okay.
Okay, so what we're looking at is we're looking at the student view. So this should look familiar to you guys if you've logged in with your own account. This is your company dashboard. And then Adam, I just logged into your company. Hopefully that's okay for the sake of demonstration purposes since this, is your question. So let's say, Adam, you and I are on the same team. Let's say you save decisions and I want to view those decisions. The best way to do that is if I'm trying to view Adam's decisions, I would log into the spreadsheet by selecting decisions. And we're going to just launch the web spreadsheet. And I'm not going to give, any values away here or anything, but what I would want to do if I want to view Adam's decisions is I want to go to undo to official decisions. And what that'll do is that'll actually pull in Adam's information into my spreadsheet. So I think a common misconception about the simulation is that people think it's going to update real time, but it's actually a modeling tool. So I have to actively call for Adam's decisions if I want to see those, and this is how I would do that. So basically what I would be doing is I would be replacing the values in my spreadsheet with Adam's values by selecting undo to official decision, and Adam has to actually save those decisions before I can do this. So Adam, if you're working on R&D, you would want to update official decisions, and you can actually save research and development. So when I actually go ahead and I select undo to official decisions, that's going to pull in Adam's R&D information. So think of undo kind of as like a refresh button, and that's how you can view other teammates' decisions once they save official decisions for a given department. Adam, does that help to answer your question? Hopefully, I think that'll help moving forward to improve the workflow. But that's a really good question.
So yes, it answered my question real clearly, and I think it might answer a lot of other people the same question they might have had. But I guess a follow-on question is when you go to undo official decision, does that bring up all the different departments that are affected? So that what I'm saying is all the changes that are affected by the decisions made by a single department? Does that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're exactly right. So again, let's use another example. So Adam, let's just say you're making research and development decisions. Let's say I'm making marketing decisions, and let's say Professor Williams is trying to see both of our decisions. So she would do the same thing. So she would log into her account if she was on this team, and she would also go through the same process. She would select undo to official decisions, and because you saved R&D and because I saved marketing, she would actually see your R&D and my marketing decisions. So this is actually the way that you and your teammates can actually kind of collaborate based on different sets of decisions that you're working on. Does that help to answer your question?
Yes. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I have a question with that, along with that.
All right, come on over here, whoever. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Angelina. I didn't see. Because this is where the mic is. Okay.
Hi, what's his name?
Anthony.
Anthony?
Hey, how are you?
I'm on Adam's team, and we
Okay.
were, like, experiencing this problem, but I'm not really, like, understanding this too well, because, like, does this apply to, like, the pro formas? If somebody makes a change, and, for instance, I'm working R&D, and, if someone had made a change in marketing, can I view their decisions that they've changed, and does that appear on the pro formas as well?
Yes, because what we're doing is, let's say, again, you're doing R&D decisions and someone else is doing marketing. If you use this undo, again, think of undo as like a refresh. You're going to refresh your screen with the updated or marketing decisions since you're doing R&D. And then you can look at the pro formas and you are going to see the impact of their marketing decisions. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the pro formas are reflective of your exact decisions. So if you have decisions in your spreadsheet that are different from someone on your team, the pro formas are going to look a little bit different. So in order for the pro formas to look identical to each other, all of your values in both spreadsheets need to be identical, and that's how you can use this undo to official decision feature. If anyone in this room is kind of having difficulty figuring this out, I would encourage you and your team to try and give us a call, Capstone Support. We can walk you through using your own decisions as an example. Over this forum, it's a little bit more challenging, but that's something I would definitely encourage if you guys are having, some difficulty with this.
Okay, does this apply to the saved drafts as well? The drafts, like if we're
No,
working on the
it does not.
drafts?
That's a great question also. So a draft is really only for the author's eyes. So if I'm saving my own draft decisions and you guys are trying to view those, you will not be able to. Draft decisions, I will only be able to see, not anyone else on my team.
Okay, so it's in a sense, the draft is actually useless for sharing information.
You're exactly right. It's really only for me to kind of see what the cause and effect is if I don't actually want to save anything.
Okay, so the final decision is actually, can we do an undo final official decision on that one? Like,
Yeah,
and
so
find
in
everybody's
essence-
results?
Of course. So in essence, the way the system works is your instructor has established deadlines, and they're every Sunday, I believe, at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Uh-huh.
So you can upload decisions 1,000 times before that deadline. The one that's saved most recently at 11 p.m. On Sundays, Mountain Standard Time, that's what the system is going to use to process your round for your company. So you can kind of overwrite your decisions every time. So if you guys are making some decisions and you're looking at everyone's, combined decisions, you might say, all right, we like this, but we don't like this. Let's change this. You can actually save on top of your previous decisions indefinitely.
And what you're talking about,
so-
the final draft?
Yeah, so the final version you guys can save on top of if
A
you want.
final version.
So if,
I'm sorry.
yes.
I'm sorry.
So
Yes.
does that make sense? I mean, you guys can save as much as you want, as many times as you want, but this undo to official decisions is going to help you guys to see each other's values after you've saved, and that'll actually help you to collaborate with your teammates.
Oh, yeah. You guys might want to make note of that somewhere, because I got a little bit frustrated trying to view everybody's decisions on the draft, and it was kind of confusing
You're exactly right.
for us.
Yep, you're exactly right.
I mean, if you want some feedback, because I had a complicated that day trying to find out, who put what, when, where, how, why.
And let me
stuff like
actually let me show you something else too. So if you guys are still looking at my screen, I'm going to exit out of the DACC-AV team spreadsheet. One thing I would encourage you to use when you're making competition round decisions is what we call the decision audit. It's this link right here on the left. The decision audit is actually going to tell you every set of decisions that your teammates have saved in each round. So you'll notice that since we're in competition round 1, you won't be able to see anything that your teammates had saved until they actually save that. So if I'm on your team and I save decisions, my name's going to appear right here, and it's going to tell every member on the DACC-AV team what values I've saved for round 1. As the simulation progresses, you're going to see round 1 at the top, round 2 right here, round 3, round 4, and so forth. So double checking the decision audit is always a great way to see who has saved what for any given round and at what time. So feel free to utilize this as a resource when you're making your competition round decisions.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, of
Any
course.
other questions?
I
With-
had another question.
Okay, just let's see if anybody. All right, no, that's
Any questions,
yeah, absolutely, Angelina. Does anybody else have any questions? Nope. Go. No, I just don't want one person to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay, that's fine.
understand.
Go.
I'm sorry, this is Angelita again. I have a question about capacity and production.
Sure.
Are we able to hire new workers?
Yes. So your company actually does that automatically. Based on the way your simulation is set up, I believe human resources is going to start in round 2.
Yes,
So
it is.
when you actually buy new capacity, that's you saying, I want a bigger production line in order to, I guess, have enough employees to work that production line. Your company automatically tells you how many new employees you're going to need if you're intending to grow. So inside of the spreadsheet, look for, I can show you again. So we click on decisions, and we'll go to launch the web spreadsheet. Again, we're just using your company here as an example. And then if we go to decisions, we go to production HR. Look for the terminology complement. So complement tells you how many employees you need last year versus this year. So if you make changes, you'll see this number change. So if you're planning on growing, it'll tell you, well, last year you needed 250 employees. This year you need 50 employees. To make things simple for you, you don't specifically hire employees. The SIM automatically does it for you, depending on how many employees you need to meet your production schedule. A lot of this is documented inside of the online guide. So if you guys are familiar with the online guide, go to the help section and go to online, go to team member guide here. And then for HR, you can go to go to additional modules and then click human resources. So a lot of this information is outlined in this resource. So feel free to take advantage of this also when you're making decisions.
Okay, we actually didn't get to like buy capacity, and that's one problem I felt like we were faced with, because like I see that we're going to be doing competitions right now, and we weren't able to run a test on us buying capacity. So if we were to buy capacity, does that pretty much do we have to hire anybody like as a worker when we order the capacity, or like, how does that work? I mean, like with entering a new product, because we were unable to even enter a new product because I was unaware that was my decision in R&D, that I was like unaware that I could create another product. So, I mean, like, I wouldn't really know how to go about this.
Thanks. No, I just said thank you.
So when you build the capacity, so we're looking at the production decision page. In order for us to build a new production line, like you mentioned, the R&D manager would need to enter a new product. So if we're the R&D manager, we would go to R&D, and in the next available space where it says NA, you would enter a new performance, a new size, and a mean time between failure for your updated product. Once you enter these 4 fields, you'll notice that in the production decision department, you can actually add capacity and automation for that new product. So when you actually, let's say you buy 100 units of capacity for this product, that's going to be available next year. When you do that, all you're doing is you're building the production line. It's going to take 1 year for your company to build the production line. Next year, when you start producing that new product, that's when your company is going to need new employees. Because when you buy capacity, you don't need to hire new employees. The only thing you need to do is wait until that capacity becomes available, and then when you start producing that product, that's when your company is going to hire new employees so that they can build that product.
Okay, and when it says buy and sell capacity, what's the difference between entering a positive number and a negative number?
So a positive number is buying capacity. Entering a negative number, that's when you're selling capacity. So you might say, I have too big of a production line. I don't need this much capacity at this point. So you can enter a negative number, and you're actually going to get cash for selling part of your production line.
Okay, and once we've purchased the capacity, and then the next year, is that when we get to enter the price for our new product?
So you'll get to enter the price for your product next year. So let's say you build a product in round 1, or you create a new product in round 1. You won't be able to enter a price in the first round because your product isn't available for sale yet. In the next round, that's where you can enter a price for your product.
Is it necessary to order capacity when you create a new product?
Yes, 100% necessary. So when you build a new product, I would recommend that you buy capacity and automation for that new product the year that you actually create the product.
Okay, what would be the minimum?
When you say minimum, what do you mean by that?
What would be the minimum amount of capacity to buy?
Really anything. So in my experience, I wouldn't go lower than, let's say, 50 or 100 units because that's not really significant. But as long as you buy a little bit, that means you can at least produce some product next year when your product is available for sale.
Okay.
But the system, in essence, the system allows you to buy 1 unit of capacity. So if you physically wanted to, you can buy 1 unit. I wouldn't recommend that because it's not really substantial. I would probably stay at 100 or higher. That would just be a recommendation.
Okay, so if you're wanting to buy 800 in capacity, would that just be kind of overboard?
Yes, I would say so because at your production facility, you can use 2 shifts. So if you buy 800 units of capacity, that means you can produce 1.6 million products. Realistically speaking, it's unlikely that you're going to sell 1.6 million products in 1 year, even if you have 2 products.
And for each unit on unit sales forecast, does each unit have their own forecast?
So every product is going to have its own forecast. So if you have 2 products, you're going to want to create 2 different forecasts.
So when you do the marketing and when you forecast, are the forecasts added together there? Or are they separate?
No. So if you go to the marketing decision page, I'll show you right here. When every company starts, they only have 1 product. So they're only going to add 1 forecast. So this answers the question, how many products of days am I going to sell over the course of this full calendar year? So you don't need to add anything here. It's only 1 value. This is you telling the system how many products of days you think you're going to sell.
Okay.
If you create a new product, it's going to appear right here, and you're going to enter an independent forecast here. So this is like saying, I'm going to sell this many units of days and this many units of my new product when it's available for sale.
Okay, when you have finalized all your decisions, what's the benefits of using the pro formas?
The pro formas give you a projection of what you're expected to have financially. So it's like saying, if my decisions come true, here's what I can expect in profits. You can kind of see the relationship between your decisions and the financials of the company. So there's a large benefit to using that information as a way to project what you can expect in terms of financial performance.
One more question, but we're almost over time. Yeah.
Okay, just one last question.
Sure.
On the price, let's say for instance, the highest price that a low-tech product was able to pay was $35. And if you had power in the market, let's say that you were like, you had the market first place, then do you have the power to raise that price $1 more?
So as a rule in the simulation, and this applies to any team, regardless of what your position in the market is, if you increase your price $1 above that range, then you're going to lose 10% of demand. So if you go up $9.99 above that highest like ceiling price, you're going to lose 99% of your demand. And once you hit $10 above that range, that's where your customers are going to say, this product is way too expensive for me. I'm not going to buy anything. And that applies to every single company in this industry, also in the high end.
Okay, thank you.
Super.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Thank you, Angelina. All right. So thank you. I appreciate you. And we'll let you get to your other meetings.
Thanks so much. Have a good one, guys. Best of luck in the competition rounds.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So this is the deal. What we just did for the last 20 minutes, any one of you in here could have done at any point in time. All you do is call that CAPSIM number.
On that page I was telling you about, they have them all, it tells you everything right there.
Yeah, it has a lot of those things. But if you have questions like this, all right, so this is the deal. And I want you guys, this is why I wanted to have this meeting now, so that I made sure that everybody was aware of all the resources that you have. First of all, has everybody been listening to the audio files that I put up? The reviews of the rounds? Because there's a lot of good information in there. What happens is I review the rounds with Anthony because I'm like you guys. I mean, obviously I have a lot more in-depth knowledge, right? Because I've been around this stuff and done this stuff and run my own company, done all this stuff. Got it, that's cool. But this is the first time I've been exposed to this as well. So I've been going through all the rounds with Anthony. We've been talking about what we're seeing, what to look at, and then I'm summarizing that for you when I go back through with the audio files, right? And as well as some other information that we got in there. When y'all are out there and you have your own businesses, when you're trying to run things, there are some, hopefully you'll get to the point where you're going to be able to call in consultants. I mean, if your business is doing well, and the whole reason you call in consultants is because they have the knowledge and expertise that you don't. Because nobody in here is ever going to know everything about anything. Even you talk to the world's experts about fill in the blank, and they will tell you there's no way they know everything. But if your expertise is in a certain area, and you see that, you know, you're missing something over here. The business isn't growing the way you want it to. You may call in a marketing consultant, a management consultant. They will tell you, they will analyze the situation. They will give you their professional opinion about what they think some options are for you to do, but they will not tell you what to do. That is your decision because, I don't know, wait for it, you own the business, right? So you guys get to decide what you're going to do with your company. So we're all back at ground zero. You guys all start off with a $41 million company. You just got it. Ta-da! Now you need to decide what you want to do. So if you call Capstone, anybody there that answers the helpline, they know this stuff inside out, backwards, forwards. It's their job. Their job is not to do the 500 things that you and I do every day. Their job is to do the 500 things that have to do just with Capstone. So they know exactly what they're doing. So go in, go over any questions that you have. And you guys had some really good questions. I think that helped, right? Right? So thank you, both of you, for asking the questions that you did. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure that you guys saw, oh, where's my list of things? Okay, is when I go through, and we have this reports and the Foundation Fast Track, and this is for the current game, this is the previous games. All right, so this is your last one, and you guys see all of this just like this, right? Don't you? So you see everybody's information. One of the cool things here is that you guys get to learn from decisions that everybody else is making, not unlike the real world. Because if you had a company that was actually manufacturing these products, do you think you'd know what your competitors were doing? At the end of the year, would you know how much market share you had versus how much market share they had? You totally would. You'd get that because you know how much the total market is. So you would have this information. So when we start looking, there's some things, and I mentioned this on the audio file, and it's called high level. It's a high level result. Not even getting into all the little fiddly things. If you look at, I don't know, things like profits, I think that's probably a pretty important thing for your company to look at, right? Although, keep in mind, having the best profit round to round may not be exactly what you want, because sometimes you have to do things like if you're R&Ding a product, you're spending money, and then you got to buy production, and you need to do both of those at the same. And we're going to look at the HR thing because, yeah, at any rate. So sales is another thing to look at. you know, I mean, you got to look at the sales. This contribution margin is huge. How many of you in here have had econ? Econ, anybody? Right? I think all of you have at least had Econ 201, and you've heard about contribution margins. That is for every dollar that was made, that's how much you essentially got to keep for every dollar in sales. So you want to keep your contribution margins. You all start about like at 30%. You want to keep them between 30 and 35. So when you're looking at that, I'm not going to look at bond market, any of that. All right, now I'm not picking on anybody, but I want I want you guys to, because this is for you. It's one thing learning this stuff in the classroom, right? And they talk about, all right, selling stocks, because if I'm going to increase production and I need more money in my company, I have to figure out, oh, wait, where's that money coming from? Well, it's coming from sales, but I may need to generate more sources of income. And I have some things I can do. Like what? Like what are some of the things I can do?
Take out a loan?
I can totally take out a loan. Now I have to decide whether it's going to be a short-term loan or a long-term loan, right? But I can totally take out a loan. What else can I do?
Sell stock.
Sell stock, right? Because if I sell extra stock, then I have a capital infusion too, right? All right, cool beans. If I'm trying to generate funds and I'm selling stock, I'm not picking on anybody here. But why would I buy those stocks back? So I sold 2 million in stocks and then I bought them back, Baldwin. Right? But I mean, all right, now, and on the surface of it, it's like, okay, that's okay, it's a wash. But it's not. Because every time you sell stock, there's a 5% brokerage fee. Every time you buy stock, there's a 5% brokerage fee. So this wasn't a wash, this cost you money. And this is what the practice rounds are for. Just so you know, I think Chester did the same thing. No, somebody last time sold. Well, all right, look at Erie. You guys did, all right, so 13, that's the sales of stock at the 13, and then bought back 500. You might as well have just sold 8. Right? But this is the purpose of this course is application of those principles that you guys have been learning. You're not going to get it perfect. You're not going to get it exactly right. But you get to see, and you're already starting to see, I think, how all these different parts of this company play together. Right? So you're starting to kind of see that. The other big part of this is honestly some of the stuff that Adam was talking about. It's hard for you guys to all get together at the same time, isn't it? I mean, so you're going to have to figure it out. Whether you're on Skype, whether you're on a phone call, whether you're on, I don't know. You guys get to figure it out. Somebody's going to have to make a final decision that says, look, at some point, I would think somebody's going to have to end up in charge and say, marketing. First of all, I guess I need to ask, did you guys divide your teams up into somebody's handling marketing, somebody's handling R&D, kind of like that? Huh? Your team is, are you guys just all doing it all together? Okay. Well, there's still got to be somebody, I'm thinking, who is the buck stops here person. It's my job to make sure that everything is totally in the way we needed it to be in by 11 o'clock on Sunday. And that means that the rest of you need to check in with that person, or you guys need to decide how you're going to do this so that people aren't mucking around. Well, I'm sorry, man. I forgot it was 11 o'clock on Monday. I was just mucking around, changing stuff to see what it looked like. And all of a sudden, the round ended. Dude, I'm sorry. It's like, that's an ungood thing to happen. And I know for a fact that happened last time this class was run. There was somebody who kept changing official decisions, like at the last minute. How do you think the rest of their teammates felt about that person? They were ready to see if they're on the Game Anywhere there was someplace you could hire hitmen. All right, I'm just saying. So do not change the stuff unless you guys are going to have to make that decision. That's part of learning to deal as a team. So when you're looking at some of this, there's some stuff that I just needed to make sure you guys saw. All right, so this, and again, this is just good basic information. So this is the low-tech market. Please remember, so it's 64% of everybody that's buying the sensors. It's growing at 10% a year. And look what happened here. This is potential for each of the teams, and this is actual. Erie. Who's Erie? You guys, look at you guys. They sold a bunch. You know why they did? Because you got Chester and Digby stocked out. They didn't have enough product to meet demand. Yeah. And so Erie, there was the demand's there. Erie got it. Ferris got a little bit of it. Andrews was Baldwin's pretty even here, right? But Andrews stocked out, but Chester and Digby totally stocked out. And that's kind of what happened. On the high tech, not as big a percent of the market. I mean, it's 36%, but it's growing at 20%. So when you start looking at numbers of actual numbers, all right, so here's all the perceptual stuff. Down at the bottom here is the HR. And I just want to bring this to your attention. I mean, this is in several different places, several different ways, but when you buy production, as you need the people there, they automatically hire. You don't have to, that's what, Anthony was saying, it automatically hires. That doesn't necessarily mean, all right, and I'm sorry about this, but it doesn't necessarily mean they automatically train. So as you develop new products and you R&D those new products, and you buy production, you might want to think about putting a little money, particularly toward training hours. If you put a little money toward training hours, it's going to benefit you in the long run. Okay. No?
Oh, well, I just, I was unsure, like, I mean, I used to put 20 or 200.
Well, so that's why I'm telling you. You need to, if you look at what's made a difference for other teams. And that kind of, you wouldn't have this kind of detailed information on all of your competitors, but you guys got it because it's helping you learn, right? So look at Baldwin put in 80 and they increased, the 10 and 20 and that, it kind of went 40, kicked it up too. What was the difference between putting in 80 versus 40? Not that much. So maybe you want to try sticking around 40. So use this information that's there to help guide some of your decisions.
But you also have to remember the opportunity far gone when you have a new product coming out. your training has got to also change, and then your amount of your budgeting, you lose 30% of your opportunity. So you have to adjust your budget promo.
Dude.
I'm just telling, if you look on those.
No, I know, but I'm like, I'm ready to cry. Seriously, you guys all sound like business people. I'm like ready to cry. And the cool thing is that, did most of you kind of get what he was saying? Kind of sort of get? I'm going to tell you that 6 weeks ago, if he had said that, y'all would have looked at him like, what kind of prodigy are you? So this is about just kind of immersing yourself in this, talking to the people, and yeah, right?
Some of those tutorials.
It's from the tutorials.
It's over there.
I'm just saying. I know. But it's like, but you know what? Wait for it. When you have your own business, are there resources out there that are free that you have available to you to use? Totally. There are so many free resources out there. Go to SBA, go to wherever. There's tons. There's SCORE. There are people that are Fortune 500 company executives that will sit down with you for free. And you guys all learned about that in your classes, SCORE. And it's the Service Corps of Retired Executives. And they'll sit down with you and they'll help you through all this stuff and make all these decisions. It's free consulting. But oh, okay. All right. So I wanted to go through that. I also wanted to go through wait a minute. Oh. Okay. Oh man, because I didn't do the right. All right, so when you have I don't think it's going to give it to me now because there's no, yeah. So I need to go, because he reset everything. Dang, blast it. All right, so let me just tell you about this. After this round, you can go in here and you can go to the analyst report and the round analysis. The analyst report goes for every single company, and I think you guys can see every single company. And it says, Andrews, you did a great job on this. It goes through every single element that you made decisions about and gives you some feedback on those decisions as well as recommendations of where to go from here. Have you guys looked at that? Yeah. All right. So, but it's like, yes, the analyst report though, here, you guys can get to that. And the round analysis is just key indicators. Now, starting this time, I'm going to be giving extra credit points on the star summary. Right? So I'm going to be giving 1 extra credit point per star. So if your team got all 5 stars and you won first, you have 105 points. So watch the star thing. Okay, I'm trying to think. I think that's probably, so are you guys feeling a little bit better, a little bit more comfortable with this?
A little bit.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the audio, you had mentioned, you had given us the route to look up when we did the peer evaluation.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't find that. So.
I think it closed already. It was last week, but it came up, it comes up right at your, I think it's right when you first come in your dashboard. See, my dashboard looks different than your dashboard,
Log in.
but it's right when you log in. Yeah.
No, I understand that. What I'm asking is, I thought you had mentioned that there was a way to look at what each other evaluated.
Well,
Like
all right, so I talked to Anthony about this, and I'm going to have to talk to him again because the report that I got was messed up. And I'm like, that's not right. I can look at these, and I know it's not right. I don't know what it's supposed to look like, 'cause this is the first time I've ever seen it. But my report, I know, and he was like, oh, I looked at it, and it's messed up. And I was like, okay. So, yeah, if you go to Teammate,
when I heard
don't you guys have, on your individual ones, let me see. Can't you guys go to Teammate? If you click on Teammate on the left, and then up there in Evaluation, if you click there, there you go.
yeah, that's what I was asking.
There you go. And all right, so here's your individual performance. Now, that's your teammates rated you. All right? Now, if you look on the Team 5Cs, see over here? I should probably put that up on the pokey thing, right? All right, teammate, evaluation, and again, mine looks different than yours do. Yours, on your screen, it has your individual performance, but then if you look over on the right at the top, there's two green buttons that say team development, 5Cs, team confidence, cooperation, coordination, cohesion, and conflict. You guys see all that? And you guys, I think, do you guys have a bar graph at the bottom? All right, so you guys got actual averages, right? I'm confident in my team's ability, blah, blah, blah. You guys all with me? And if you go to the other one, it is, hello. The 4 Ps, which has to do with performance preparation, performance execution, performance monitoring, and performance adjustment. And again, I know that some of these are messed up. There's a balanced scorecard report. These guys are actually okay, but yeah. Y'all's look a little bit different than this, okay? Uh-huh.
Do we lose points if we don't evaluate our team members on our points? I mean,
If someone doesn't do the evaluation,
do we lose points?
I can't tell who's done the evaluation or who hasn't. So what you get points on. All right, so for these team, the P's and C's for the team are not graded. Your individual evaluations, how you were evaluated by your teammates, you get points on. That's the part that was messed up that Anthony's trying to get fixed. So I'll let you all know next week, but that's where you get your points.
So, like, how do you determine our final points? Because, like, I mean, like, I was kind of disappointed with one of my points.
Uh-huh.
I'm not exactly sure what round it was, but, how do they determine the points, or do you determine the points?
That's how you evaluate the person.
Define they. Like Capsim,
does
it's
Capstone-
a rating of 1 to 5.
I mean, of course, like, at 50 points, I mean, like, on our modules and grades. I'm talking about our grades, like. on
Oh, the
campus.
grade, I count that as 50 points. The team evaluation, the two individual evaluations that you'll be doing,
Yeah,
that are going to be scored, you got 1 now and you have 1 at the end.
and is that?
And
gonna-
both of those are going to be 50 points.
That's not on Canvas? Do we
It
have-
will be on Canvas.
Okay, so we haven't taken one, have we?
You just did.
On the Capstone?
On CAPSIM, your individual evaluation will be converted in, like if you got 5s across the board, then you get all 50 points. If your average across the board was 4.5, you're going to get 45.
Oh, so if you got like 3.0, then you're gonna get 30?
Then you're going to get 30, which would be like a 60.
So, it matters how your team evaluates you?
It matters how your team evaluates you because it matters no matter where you work or how people perceive you and deal with you and interact with you. And you guys, everybody in here, and thank you, but because everybody in here, you're going to have things you do really well. And I know this is going to come as a horrible shock to some of you, but you probably do things that annoy the crud out of other people.
Okay, so if you don't have good communication skills, you're not gonna really do well in this class as well?
No, that's one portion of the evaluation. And if you know that your communication skills need work, this is a great opportunity to work on them.
Okay, because I don't really see it like, fair. I mean, like, if everybody wants to go and beat on you and say, oh, she's a 3, and then it's like through the whole thing, you're getting like 3, 3, 3 all the way down.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know that you might have been pushing in extra work, and like even like some people work harder than others, but they don't get full credit. And, I mean, like, who knows if that happens anywhere?
Yeah, it happens anywhere. Yeah, and this is 100 points. Both of those evaluations are worth 100 points out of how many points do we have total in here? Like 1,200? If you got zeros on both of those and ace the rest of the stuff, you'd still get A's. It's not a problem. Out of 1,280, your team evaluations are worth 100 points total. Your meetings and, the competition rounds are worth 800. So the team evaluations aren't rated very highly, but they do count. So,
My biggest concern is that, is there a percentage of it that's not gonna pass this class?
no.
I mean, like, are we all capable of passing this class?
I would think so.
I mean, like, does it only apply, like, just as long as we're making profits, we pass?
Is that anywhere in the syllabus?
I don't know, some girl told me, just as long as we're making profits, we're gonna pass. But
No, that was in previous, that is nowhere, is making profits anywhere in this syllabus. It has you have your competition rounds with our 800 points. And it says in the syllabus, and I'm like trying to flip through, but it says in the syllabus exactly how many points you get per competition round. If you get an A, if you're the number 1, if you're the number 2, and you guys have seen most of that with your somewhere over the rainbow. But you guys all have access to the syllabus. In the syllabus, it says on your competition rounds who comes in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And they have a 7th in here, but if you come in 6th place, you get a 74.
That's still good.
It's what?
It's good because they're giving us points to by doing all the competition rounds
Uh-huh.
and it depends on you.
Yeah. All right, but it is. I mean, so if you will also have a final exam, there's a CompSim at the Capstone. There is a final exam, and it has 640 total points. And if you get that, you get an A. But look at this. You guys, seriously, if you get 140 points out of the 640, that's a 70.
So everybody's capable of.
This is for you guys to see. This is the deal. Remember what the purpose of this course is. The purpose of this course is for y'all to see how the parts of a business interrelate, how all those parts work together, and how when you change one thing, it has impact on lots of other things. Nobody expects you to run out of here being business moguls. I mean, if you do, that's great. But it's not just about making profit. It's about your company growing, and that's why I grade off that balance score sheet. And that's what I've been saying. That's all the practice rounds were graded off the balance score sheet. Okay? So, and all of this stuff will be put up in Canvas so that and I've already done the first, second, and third rounds. I think the third round is up too. What hasn't been done is the first peer evaluation. That'll be up too. Then we're starting in with the competition rounds. Okay? So yeah, the class is being run differently than it has in the past. In the past, if you ended up not making profit on a round, you got 0. So, right? I'm setting this course up. I would anticipate, seriously, as long as you guys do your work, try to get this stuff done. Start working together. You've made some decisions. Keep making sound decisions. Keep making evidence-based decisions. Watch your industry growth. Because seriously, one of the huge things is when I'm talking to Anthony and I'm looking, where's my notes? Yeah, when he was like, everybody's still stocking out. All right, so if you look at demand in the low tech, this last practice round, and I said this on the audio file, the demand was 6.7 million, right? That's how much the demand was. The total sales from all of your businesses was 5.3 million. So all of you guys together didn't meet the demand that was out there. But the deal is this, is that if the practice round had gone one more round, that industry grew by 10%. Which means it started out at 6.7 million. 10% more makes it 7.378 million customers this next year. So when you're doing your forecasting, you have to remember how many more customers there are out there that are potentially looking for product, right? Does that make sense? So the forecasting is a pretty important thing. And so be sure you take a look at what demand is going to be for your next year. Okay?
Yep,
Cool beans?
Very good.
I love it.
Did you bring coffee and donuts?
Did I bring coffee and donuts? Whatever.
Go away, right?
Yes? Uh-huh.
Because I noticed that my team, like, we communicate and we work together, like, we're like on the phone like 3+ hours sometimes, like,
Uh-huh.
working together. And, so far it's been good, I mean, like, but, I've noticed, like, when you make changes here and there, the forecast actually changes. So is the forecast helpful for not stocking out in inventory?
The forecast should be the forecast. I think what you're looking at is when you start making change, all right, there's 2 different forecasts. There's the industry as a whole, which is what I'm talking about. This is the industry as a whole. And then as you make changes in your team, your team numbers, it starts forecasting how much of the market you're going to be able to supply, you're going to be able to, it starts nailing those kind of forecast numbers, right?
I mean, like, we had a problem like with the production,
Uh-huh.
and let's say like the very first line said 1,600,
Uh-huh.
and if we put in 1,700, draws a line straight across in red,
Uh-huh.
as if, that's not,
That's not going to work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's 1,600 at the top.
Yeah.
But like, if it changes to like, I believe there's a possibility you can actually change the top number depending on how you input the numbers on.
Talk to the Capstone people about that. And one of the things that they can do is, you saw that join me, that meeting thing, right? Is that if you set up a time with them, or you can probably just call them and they can set one of those up, you can go on your computer and they can see exactly what's going on with you and your team and walk you through. They'll say exactly what Anthony was doing. See here, that says this. And they can probably answer that question, because if you try to expand past the point where, like, the production is, you're trying to force it too high, that's when I think it's going to redline you. But that's a great question. Call them and talk to them about it. Okay?
Because I couldn't understand, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why we keep running out of product, and I'm like, we're trying to produce more product, but it doesn't seem to allow us to produce.
Great idea. I mean, great question. Call them and they can explain it to you. They can actually go through every single number with you.
Okay.
That's what seriously, you guys, that's one of the big things that I wanted you to get out of this meeting, because a lot of this I say on the audio files, is that how approachable the people are, how easy it is to ask questions. You have consultants. When I do marketing consulting for businesses, you guys, I mean, I'm relatively inexpensive.
We call it you.
Yeah, relatively inexpensive. So the last job I did was for a company in Arizona, and I was actually there for a week. I'm still working with them off and on, and it was marketing consulting. So I was there for a week. It was about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks worth of prep, but that was, what did they pay me? Well, they're still paying me. Right now I'm at $15,000. So, and I'm inexpensive, but I mean, I'm relatively inexpensive. I'm good, so I'm real picky about the jobs that I take, but that's cheap. I've already made them like a gazillion dollars more than that. But that's what you pay for consultants. So now you guys have, wait for it, free consultants.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking consultants are really expensive.
Pardon?
I was thinking to speak to a consultant is expensive. I mean, like, who knows if they're charging $100 an hour?
Oh, no, I start at $250 an hour.
Oh my God, see, I mean,
No, and when I do expert witness stuff for real estate, that starts at $450 an hour.
wow.
And that's relatively inexpensive.
So expensive would be $1,000 an hour?
I don't know. They can charge whatever they want. Yeah, but I'll tell you I don't. But yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah, to do marketing consulting, that's what I tell them. I don't get out of bed for less than $250 an hour. So there you go. Yeah. But a lot of times I do flat fee charges. Yeah, like that with those people, because I know people that know them and they needed the help and blah, blah, blah. But cool beans?
Very good. Swim or drown.
All right. That's it. Make sure everybody's signed in. Has everybody signed in?
Yes.
All right, everybody make sure they've signed in. That's it. And we will get this video up. And everybody say thank you to Juan very much. Thank you. Because he had to put up with me going, and now do this, and now do this. Okay. Thank